Santosh Shivan does not need any introduction. He is one man who is known to always push the boundaries to trap that rare moment of time on celluloid. Santosh was in a habit of observing light from a very young age. In Kerala, they had houses where they would shut out lights and the lights would just come in through the shafts. From there to the directorial chair. Here is Santosh's story. Been a very long journey from behind the camera to now being a director, and I am here not to find out about his movies or the ideas where the movies come from. I'm here to find out more about how this whole concept of cinematography and being behind the camera started. What urged him to go behind the camera and take those beautiful visuals that we see on the big screen. In conversation with Santosh Shivan. So many a times we do not know what goes into making a beautiful movie. We just watch a movie on a screen and feel fantastically happy about it. When you were a kid, what spurred this? Did you watch a lot of movies, or what gave you this idea of picturizing and visualizing something?
I think all of us normally have our own experiences, and so it's purely coincidental that maybe you all have a visual education from wherever you are from. Maybe, I think in my case, I had a lot to do with my grandmother, because she used to paint and sketch and all that. And so she used to have all these paintings of Raja Revarma. And so she used to narrate the stories of these mythological stories by illustrated with these paintings, So naturally you start thinking as a kid, and it's like a group experience. All of us are sitting and we're imagining all this mythology coming alive, and we think that it is maybe like what the painter has portrayed. And of course, so it's also part of a visual education. Then I also studied in a school called Loyola's in Trivandrum, where we were not exposed so much to the cultural aspects of our state, in fact, Kerala. So, but during the holidays, you would be going from this black and white kind of environment to, your native place, where it is full of, festivals, and you have these colors of Kathakali and Velakali, lot of things to see and to experience. So I think you basically also you get into seeing homes where everything is so dark inside and the light is coming like shafts, and it's very interesting actually when you look at that kind of places, especially if you can compare it with something very strange.
So you say that cinematography starts at a very early age. You start showing signs of being a cinematographer.
I don't know if it's cinematography or anything like that, but I think most people start remembering all that. If you ask anyone for that matter, they will have a lot of childhood memories, and which actually is interesting. Then of course, fortunately, I come from a family where people sketch, and it's encouraged. So you start sketching these things, and when you start sketching these things, whenever you sketch something, that means you are looking at it much more close, observing it much more closely than taking a picture. You actually see it and absorb it, and then only you put it into lines and figures and colors and things like that. So I think you really have to look at it rather intimately. So you start looking at people like that and everything. So I think it is
talking about your observation skills. What is your fascination with natural lighting? You are known for that. So to what degree does nature fascinate you? And all your movies are just standing testament.
No, I think nature is fantastic actually. If you look at it's just what you capture from it. So I think what motivates you is the fact that you always, when you actually shoot a movie or something, you will dedicate to someone you like very much, like your mother or something like that. Something that gets you motivated to do something special for them. So then you realize that most of the time it so happens that most of the beautiful things that happen very fleetingly. So you have a magic sky, which is the time when the sun sets and the night comes in. Or you have the monsoon clearing and suddenly there's a silver light in the skies and things like that. So I think most of the time when things are fleeting, they appear more beautiful. So you try to capture these moments. Okay, and for that, I think you need to be fast and wait for it and things like that. Or whether in Kashmir you catch the first snow, everything that is fleeting is very beautiful. So I think it is because it's not there for everyone to sit and enjoy. So you try to capture it.
Yeah, everything which is fleeting is beautiful, and it
Yeah.
is also very, very challenging. Right,
Yeah,
to
I think
capture
so. No,
that.
I think because you can actually be in sync with it. Then it,
Have you had? Can you tell us one of your personal memories or experiences where it has been very challenging to capture that beauty, but you
Yeah,
didn't
I
let
think,
it?
like I said, in a movie called Tahan, I actually wanted to capture the first snow in Kashmir. So we actually shot it, and it is very interesting because it's suddenly a landscape which is so brown. In a matter of 5 minutes, it's all white. So they told me it is like the peace in Kashmir. It can be very okay, and 5 minutes all changed. But it's very fascinating, and even now it is very fascinating for the people also to welcome the first snow. Or like when I was doing a film Ravan, we are shooting and we are right on top of the hills, and suddenly we are inside a cloud almost. And then suddenly everything changes. You know what I mean? It's so dark, and it's very interesting. So you get yourself, you do a lot of things like that. Even in this film, Urumi, which is supposed to be set in 15th century, we wanted to give it a feel that it is very pure. So we would like to, like the environment is very pure, not like polluted or anything. So we actually shot in all these very um, on top of the mountains and things like that. And most mountainscape, when you see properly, when you look at it properly, it can't sustain water, so it quickly turns brown. So it is very apparently it'll just change in 1 week's time. It can become from green to brown, because it cannot take in the water like that. So I think by shooting in such places, is often challenging, but then that's what it's all about. So you like to do things like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this new movie of yours, Surumi. It's set with a very beautiful Vasco da Gama angle.
Actually, it is no. Actually, the movie is about, see, the whole history of our nation and all changed just for a piece of for a pepper grain. Actually, it's just for peppercorn. That's it. So the entire thing changed. So they came looking for pepper. Today, the world knows Vasco da Gama as someone who discovered India and Kerala, and is the first colonial ruler and all that. But I don't think that when you say he discovered, we were there anyway. So what do you mean discovered? But the fact is, for Westerners, he's the one who discovered. But I think we always see him as an invader also, because he finally ruled us. So he used all those little inward fights and divide and rule kind of a thing. So how he came in. So that is the movie about. So we see him also as an invader in the whole thing. Not just necessarily this thing, because that is our point of view. Unfortunately, whenever people who won only actually wrote the history, so you never saw the other angle, what it was all about. So you can tell him that, okay, he's a discoverer, but he's also an invader, because he also did a lot of bad things when he came in the beginning. Yeah.
So this would bring me to a question. When you make movies, what is your inspiration? Is it like, do you personally connect with each story that you make?
No, sometimes I think it's like everyone else. Suppose maybe sometimes it connects to something you've studied or something you have got interested in, or you think there's a possibility. It makes you think. You're going and staying in Calicut, and you suddenly you see that the suit you're living in is called Vasco da Gama suit. So you wonder, okay, it's like that. So you just little things make it like a whole thing.
Santosh says you can make a successful film, but if it has nothing to do with you and you have just borrowed the idea from somewhere, even if 250 people say it's fantastic, you can't stand in front of a mirror, smile and feel good. Well, I can always smile and feel good every time I read the Metroplus magazine. If you can do that with the show as well, then write in to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com and let us know. Till the next time, have a colorful week.